Most people think at first of Omaha Beach as the important battleground of the Normandy landings on D-Day.
But about 30 miles west of there, American soldiers were risking their lives to protect our freedom. Local 10's Nicole Perez is on Utah Beach to show us.
As the ceremonies continue for the 75th anniversary of D-Day, there are people all over Utah Beach. This is one of two beaches along the coast of France where the Americans came ashore during the Normandy landings. The men from the 4th Infantry Division commemorated our freedom by marching the exact route their unit did back in 1944. On June 6, 1944, Utah Beach looked like this. It was the westernmost of the 5 codenamed landing beaches in Normandy. The 4th Infantry Division landed 21,000 troops on Utah Beach, suffering few casualties with only 197. Clearing the area, the troops penetrated inland and took one of the first towns, St. Mary du Mont.
We're going to start here, and then we're going to march in the same footsteps that those soldiers took 6 kilometers into St. Marie du Mont.
Just 2 days before the 75th anniversary of D-Day, the 4th Infantry U.S. Army is conducting a ceremony on Utah Beach and retracing the steps our veterans took 75 years ago. And one of those veterans is here to see it unfold.
How do you feel being here today?
Well, I'm impressed. It's my 5th trip back here over the years, so but I'm always impressed and think of so many wonderful friends I lost, and you never forget it.
William Miller tells me everyone calls him Bill, started as a 2nd lieutenant in the war and eventually became colonel. He's now 96 years old and one of the few survivors of the longest day.
So many. Just a wonderful man.
Major Richard Barker says this is all about remembering the sacrifices of our family members from the past.
And also it's about the connection and the bond that we have with the people of France and with the 13 allied countries who were part of World War II.
After learning about the trip to France, one of the soldiers found out he had family members who fought on D-Day.
We actually had 3 family members that were involved with World War II. I had a 3rd cousin who actually died storming the beaches of Normandy. I had a great uncle who was a machine gunner on D-Day, and then I had another great uncle who served as an intelligence officer.
James Tweed says it changed his whole perspective about being in France.
This became so much more personal for me.
Marching as one, the U.S. Army making stops to recognize and honor our heroes from that fateful day. After missing their initial point of landing a mile off course, General Theodore Roosevelt Jr. famously said, "We'll start the war right here," and the rest was history. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to take you a little bit east to Omaha Beach, where thousands of our troops are laid to rest at the Normandy American Memorial Cemetery. On Utah Beach, I'm Nicole Perez, Local 10 News.
Hey, Nicole, thanks, and stay with Local 10 for continuing coverage of the 75th anniversary of D-Day. Nicole will bring you exclusive reports all the way up through the big day.